One thing that I've realized over time when I was listening to, watching all these spiritual teachings, esoteric stuff, and the wisdoms from different various spiritual leaders and all, that any time that I listen to a different perspective from a different teacher on the same knowledge, some kind of missing link, I've realized that it's been put into its place within my psyche. That is why I do believe that repetition, even though you believe you know what you know, is very important, because these repetitions over time compound in your subconscious through the repetition that you do with your conscious mind will yield some beautiful results for you, because then you will polish your whole knowledge, your holistic knowledge about the wisdom and the knowledge of the world and how reality works, and then it will compound over time, that then you will have no other missing pieces in its place, and then you can then say that you have a real solid foundation. And then when you go out into the world, every experience, when you have different experiences, everything, you will see then that everything, even though they look different on the surface, every experience is unique, but every experience is also fundamentally one, so that that one is also goes back to this foundation that you created by yourself. And then when you go out to the world, it will be so easy for you to deal with any type of experiences that you see on your physical reality, coming from that place of oneness in your knowing and in your psyche. Same thing applies for the things that we wish that we don't know, or we wish that we haven't repeated that much coming since our childhood. Like, for example, change is hard. The things, the knowledge that is not helping us, also actually with repetition over time becomes like solid beliefs, quote unquote, that is not helping us but hindering us on our journey. Just like the change, the belief is like the change is hard. You need to put like sweat and hard work to change. No pain, no gain. Those type of things that we keep hearing from within the society. It's so easy to hear it. We kept hearing it from our family, then it continued with the teachings in the school, and then when we get to a work, our boss was like repeating to us that you need to work hard in order to gain some sort of like recognition and all. I'm not saying that it's like change is like walking in the park, but what I'm saying here is change just requires conscious effort. But it doesn't have to be like a constant battle within ourselves where we go and compare ourselves with other people and then reinforce our limiting beliefs that they are good, I'm not that great, I can't do this, I've always been like that, who am I to dare to change, who am I to dare to aim high, I should better go for things that I can believe that I can do, rather than like being a dreamer, or people will laugh at me, people will I will feel shameful in front of them, and I will look unrealistic, they will not take me seriously, and so forth. When we face with a challenge, and then when we close our eyes, we can visualize a better future, a change or an improvement within our circumstances, and we can see a totally different view, a world, a totally different, actually a reality where we see ourselves doing a completely different job, working in a completely different environment, or living in a completely different place, or being with completely surrounded by completely different people, living in a different community, or whatever it might be in your unique circumstances. But then we think and come back and tell to ourselves like, okay, I can see it with my mind's eyes, but only in dreams. It is too good to be true to be my reality. But I want to tell you something. I'm sure you might have heard of it, but if you didn't, you might have also heard of it in different modalities, different consciousness teachers as well, that there is a quantum there's a quantum field, and it's almost like a place that we all exist in, that it's almost like an unconditional place, like it didn't come out from something, or it just is there. It's like the isness, all that is the quantum field. Or in reality transurfing, what Zeland calls it is like the alternative space, where everything is possible, waiting to be tapped by us through our conscious focus, with our focus and attention and intention as well, that we make it real and come to our reality, or we actually shift into that reality through constant repetition, through constant like putting intention and an action behind feeling into it, and so on and so forth, through like various techniques. So that what I'm saying is, why did I like mention this one? Because it's so important to know first and foremost that whatever you desire to have, you don't need to put a secret formula into its place, like this, the secret formula of the Coke, the Coca-Cola. You don't need to know how much like sugar, how much water, how much whatever. Should I go there? Should I ask this? How should I put this together? Is it even like possible? You don't have to deal with any of this. This is the most most enjoyable and the most relieving and reassuring part of manifesting, actually, because whatever you can see it with your mind's eyes, whatever you can feel into it, whatever you can dream about, is actually a possibility, a reality. That's why you can sense, that's why you can feel, even though you don't know how, even though you don't know how you can get there, even though what time it's gonna be your reality, or when you will do the shift, when, or it doesn't matter, all these like questions that our mind poses. We should know that whatever you want to create is there. It is given. It's already a potential. It's already a reality. All the bad things, all the worst case scenarios exist, but also all the best case scenarios. What if it all works out? Type of questions, and the answer to those questions are also possible and exist in the quantum field, in the alternative space, or in this, the universe, all that is, this isness of those realities. The dreams are real, actually. As human beings, that we have our physical form, which is our body, as a vessel in this 3D, in this three-dimensional world that we live in. But we also have our non-physical self, which is our soul, our inner being, our higher self, or whatever you call it, which is constantly in touch with this bigger universe, this quantum field where we actually all come from. So when we face with a challenge in this 3D world, what comes naturally to us is to try to come up with answers with our physical, from our physical limitations, what we know of up until this moment, the knowledge that we've accumulated up until this moment. We go back and try to almost like going to a library or going to your bookshelves and try to look for an answer that's already written and being there. So when we face with a challenge in the 3D world, what we do is we go back to our past experiences, we go back to the people that we know of, we go back to what is known to find the answers. So if we can find the answers, we feel relief. But if we can't, then we're doomed, or we just altogether try to give up what we want to manifest. we cannot give up on our desires. Only we can postpone it. Next time it will come back through another door. So the thing is, we try to look for the answer in the known, but the thing is, the known can only get us to a place where we used to be in, actually. But if we are facing with a new challenge in our life, which probably we do, because life is one of expansion, the universe is expanding, and remember the high school physics lessons that the universe is endless and it's always expanding. So as a part of this universe, we are also expanding every day. We're like, actually, we meant to create something new through new challenges, by facing those challenges, and then a new evolution, a new consciousness levels almost like unlocks for us. So in order for us to create the lifestyle that we want to have, that we've never had, or we want to create a certain circumstances that we want to have that we've never had, then we cannot rely only onto the known. We need to play with the unknown, and the unknown is this alternative space, this quantum field, this the higher calling that we hear from our higher self, where when we think about a vision, when we close our eyes, oh, you can do this, you can put yourself out of this situation, and this type of reality is possible for you. This is actually a guidance, a download from our higher self, from our inner being. So this is the unknown. So in order for us to tap into the unknown, in order for us to believe in the unknown and walk towards that unknown and shifting into that unknown, we need to put a limit to what we know of. Of course, that is, as I was mentioning in the beginning of this video, the foundation, the knowledge that we know about how reality works is going to be almost like a compass for us within that journey as well. But we need to put a limit to what is known. So if you've been trying to give up on a bad habit, let's say a very simple one, you don't want to smoke anymore, the first thing that will come up to your mind was the past couple of times that you tried and failed. Because this is the way how your ego, or like Eckhart Tolle, he describes it as like pain body, tries to actually protect you from the unknown. Your ego is trying to protect you from being vulnerable and from actually being from actually wasting your energy on something that is not going to yield any results. Because this is your body and this is your mind, and it only has a limited perspective, and it can only go back and look at the library that you accumulated over time, which is your past and past experiences and past accomplishment and failures. And when your ego, when your mind, and when your pain body look at the past experiences and saw that person fail a couple of times when they want to quit smoking, it wants to hinder you, it wants to like refrain you from wasting your energy one more time. Because the universe has this very basic level of like rules where everything should happen in the path of least resistance, meaning like you put least amount of energy, whereas you expect to get the most amount of like the biggest like productivity from that effort that you put in. So that's why, in order to be someone new, this is what Dr. Joe Dispenza mentions, in order to be someone totally new, you first of all need to be you need to be no one in order for you to be anyone. So this anyone is this person or this vision or this idea or this new habit that you want to bring it into your life. for that to happen, for that to, for that to happen, you need to put a limit to your past, put a limit to your known, put a limit to your ego, put a limit to your pain body, so that you can open yourself up to that possibility which is waiting for you to focus on through your conscious attention, through your conscious focus, through your conscious affirmations, through the feelings that you can conjure up within yourself while you're like visualizing and all. Because it requires you to constantly shift into a new state of being in order to tap into the frequency of this new and unknown, because it's here, and your current level of vibration, everything that you know, how you feel, how you act is here, and where you want to go, how you act, how you behave, how you think and feel is over here, which this is the smoker version of you. This is the non-smoker version of you. The smoker version of you has a certain set of like belief systems and the way of living, and this new version of you, the non-smoker version of you, has certain type of belief system, a certain type of lifestyle and all. So in order for you to shift into that reality, you need to focus your energy, your conscious energy and effort and your feelings and your actions, and you tune into that frequency. I love this example that it's been used by many people, that it is like a television channel and the frequency on those channels. Like, we have this channel 1, channel 2 and the channel 3, and you want to watch the channel 2, and what you need to do then, you need to press 2, which is like on the background of the television system and the satellite systems. It just tunes your frequency into the second channel. So you cannot expect to see what's going on in the channel 2 by staying on the channel 1 or the channel 3. So it's that very simple, right? And because you are in channel 2 at this moment, that doesn't mean that channel 1 and channel 3 does not exist simultaneously. So you can be watching the channel 2 and you can call your mom, and then simultaneously she might be on TV and watching the channel 3 as well. So, and she doesn't see what's happening on the channel 2 because you're on the channel 2, but that doesn't mean for her that channel 2 doesn't exist. She just chooses to tune to the channel, was it 1 or 3? Doesn't matter. Like, so the all 3 channels, all 3 realities, all of those realities, the one who works a 9-to-5 job that doesn't feel passionate about, version of you exists, and a version of you who lives by his or her values and do what she or he loves to do and earn his or her living through that path also exists. A version of you who doesn't do anything, let's say for a month, just travel the world, like, uses investments in between like 2 jobs and like feel totally free, does exist as well. Or a version of you who smokes, it does exist. Even though if you haven't smoked at all in your whole life, a smoker version of you does exist in the quantum field, because it's not in your physical 3-dimensional reality, because you haven't tuned into it. But your smoker version of you does also exist. Or the same thing, if you are a smoker at this moment, non-smoker version of you does exist as well, which is a beautiful freedom to know. You just need to choose between, through your attention, conscious attention, and through your conscious effort to act in the way that your non-smoker version of you would act. And these actions might look totally different from person to person, even between like two smokers. It's totally your reality. Those actions, a non-smoker version of your the actions that your non-smoker version of you would embody will look totally different than someone else's like actions who are non-smoker as well. So you can then, any type of reality, you can then make it your reality through your conscious effort in every single moment, like choosing that I am a new version of myself, I'm a smoker version of myself at this moment. How would my smoker, non-smoker version of myself would act in this moment? How would my non-smoker version of myself would feel in this moment? How would my non-smoker version of myself would speak in this moment to other people? How would he or she would tell when someone offer me a to let us smoke, and then I will probably say that no, I don't smoke. You may not even have to say I don't smoke anymore. You can say that I don't smoke, and that's it, because this is your reality in this given moment. I don't smoke at this moment. I don't smoke. I'm not a smoker, or whatever it is. So anything and everything that you want to create for your reality does exist, which is a beautiful thing to know. It's such a relief, it's such a freedom to know, because you don't have to go and create anything from scratch. You don't have to go and find a secret formula. You just need to tune into that frequency of that reality by believing that it is a reality, it's a possible reality, and then leaving it to the universe to bring all these synchronicities in your life, to put all these events and then match you with, like rendezvous with you. This is how Abraham describes it, to make this rendezvous possible with you, your current you, and the you that is a non-smoker version of you, and the universe will make it possible, make this rendezvous possible through a path of certain like circumstances which nobody knows. All these, the Neville Goddard mentions it as like a bridge of events, bridge of incidents, through these 2 points, like current version of me and the non-smoker version of me, and through a path of least resistance, through a path of like a certain bridge of events and incidents nobody knows how it happened. You will get there if you want to. But what do you need to do? This is the part of the how, when, where, through which path. These are the questions that the universe already knows and answered. You don't need to deal with them at all. What you need to focus on is to how I can stay tuned to the channel 2 throughout my day. Over time, you do your meditations in the morning and you elevate your level to the channel 2, but the whole day, like 10-20 hours a day, if you keep focusing on like double-think it, if you keep tuning into the version of you and the frequency of you who's a smoker version of you, then it will be harder for you. Then the time and the effort that you put in the beginning of your day to manifest and raise your vibration to the level of a non-smoker will go wasted if you live your whole day, the rest of your day, thinking like a smoker, acting like a smoker, feeling like a smoker version of you. I'm not saying that you need to quit smoking like the day, just quit it. I'm not gonna have any cigarettes from this moment onwards, which I did in this way. If you want to do it, then just feel free to do it. But even though you smoke, you do it like consciously from a point of view that knowing that you are on a different path. You are on a path to being a non-smoker version of yourself, and tuning into that version of you, tuning into the feelings of that version of you, tuning into the thinking patterns of that version of you. How would he or she would think during a day if they're not a smoker? And you can use this example for your unique circumstances, and you can adjust that example to your unique circumstances as well. But the biggest thing to know, and it's anytime you lose your like direction, I suggest you to come back to this point that whatever you want to achieve, accomplish, a state or circumstances or event is already there. That's a beautiful relief. It is there. And knowing that what I need to do is not to like focus any and spend any time doubting or like, you know, questioning myself whether it is possible or not. Given that this is already a possibility, you can then leverage all your freed up energy to tune your frequency on a day-to-day basis consciously to the version of you who would that person would be if that such situation, circumstances or event is a possibility. If you're looking for a financial freedom, then you cannot go on walk on the local supermarket and check the prices of every single thing that you want to buy. If you need it and want to buy it, but if you don't want to change your buying action just because of the price, then you again need to remind yourself and bring the awareness to the situation that okay, my financially free version of me would not at least spend like 2-3 minutes thinking about, oh, if I buy this, then I may not have money to buy that or whatever. If you need it, if you want it, if you want to buy that, I'm not saying that go into depth and buy like bigger things, but a small thing, that everyday thing that you can buy on this local supermarket, and even there you cannot convince yourself that like, okay, financially free version of myself would not dwell on this decision that much. That person of me would simply go and buy it and say that's okay, it's not gonna kill me, you know. I'm financially free at this moment. Like, and day by day, the moment by moment, the more you decide on, you know, tune your decisions towards that direction, how you feel, how you think and how you act, the more you will see reasons to behave in that way, like the confirmation almost like coming from the universe that yes, you did right by buying that product on the market. You did right to choose for yourself, but didn't choose just to save a couple of bucks. And here's the reason: maybe you will receive an unexpected money, you will receive that, you will receive this, you will hear something, and then or whatever it might be. The more you show your trust to the universe that the version of you who's financially free is there, the more universe will send you confirmations and the things in your way showing you that you did right, you were right, by tuning into that frequency, by showing the trust to the universe. The more you show trust to the universe, the more the universe will show you and reward you because you trusted it with your decisions. So if you enjoyed this video and if you stick till the end with me, I thank you, I especially thank you for that. And just because of that, I would love to gift you with a free 45-minute consultation call with me to work with your unique circumstances and how you can tune into that frequency, how that version of you would act like, think like, and feel like. What would you do now in your day-to-day life in order to channel your frequency to the version of you who wants to live as like a financially free person, who wants to live like a non-smoker person. If you want to work with me on that, grab your spot but through the link below, and I would love to see you on the other side of this offer. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.